Imagine something very strange happened. Your birthday keeps moving. One year it comes in summer, a few years later it arrives in spring, and after many years you are celebrating in the freezing winter. How could that happen? Birthdays don't just pack their bags and change seasons, do they? Long ago, the entire world faced a mystery just like this. People had calendars to track time, but there was a big problem. The calendar was slowly becoming wrong. Every year, it became just a tiny bit inaccurate. It was only off by a few minutes. But when you make that same mistake every single year for centuries, those minutes add up until the calendar is weeks away from where it should be. Because that tiny mistake kept growing, after many hundreds of years, the calendar had fallen almost 10 full days behind the real seasons. Spring was no longer arriving when the official calendar said it should. Important festivals were suddenly happening on completely the wrong dates. Farmers found it incredibly difficult to know the correct time to plant their crops. If a farmer plants seeds at the wrong time, the crops won't grow, and that meant there might not be enough food for everyone. Scientists noticed that the sun and the calendar no longer matched. People realized something had to change. But who could possibly solve a mathematical puzzle that affected the entire planet? With the calendar broken, farmers were confused and festivals were on the wrong days. Humanity needed a brand new way to track time that actually matched the world outside. To find the answer, let's travel to Europe more than 400 years ago. This vintage map shows how people studied the sky. Pope Gregory XIII brought together expert astronomers and mathematicians. They spent years meticulously studying the complex circular paths of constellations, looking for the hidden error breaking the calendar. Careful, long-term observation of the stars was the only way to uncover the invisible flaw in the human calendar. Looking at this animation, we see exactly what they discovered. The Earth does not go around the Sun in exactly 365 days. It takes 365 days, plus almost 6 extra hours to complete one true orbit. After 2 years, those leftover 6 hours combine to create 12 extra hours. After 3 years, the total grows to 18 hours. And after 4 years, those blocks add up to exactly 24 hours, creating one whole extra day. Imagine having a completely free extra day. What do you think humanity could do with it, and where could they possibly put it on the calendar? Ignoring these accumulating hours was the invisible force breaking the old calendar. Solving this math allowed the time detectives to finally build a system that stayed accurate. Pope Gregory decided that instead of ignoring that extra day, the world needed a better calendar that captured it. This created a special year we call a leap year. During a leap year, February stretches out to have 29 days instead of 28. Can you guess when the next leap year will happen? Perhaps you've already celebrated one without even noticing. Adding one day every 4 years acts like a giant pause button. It lets the human calendar catch up to the Earth's true orbit around the Sun. This clever invention became known as the Gregorian Calendar. It was used by more and more people because it kept time beautifully accurate. On this map, the calendar spreads across the globe. Countries light up as they adopt it to fix shifting seasons. Some nations adopted it immediately. Others took years to trust the new math, spreading in delayed waves until the map is full. This simple math was reliable enough to eventually bring almost the entire world together under one way of counting days. Today, checking dates on your phone, looking at a classroom calendar, or planning a family holiday, you rely on this old invention. The Gregorian calendar is the most widely used calendar on the planet today. But here is a surprising fact. Not every country relies solely on this calendar. India uses the Gregorian calendar for everyday life, but it also has its very own official national calendar. What is this special calendar? Why use 2 different ways to track time? Let's discover that amazing story in our next adventure.